Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about betrayal and anger. Betrayal and anger are closely connected because betrayal attacks something fundamental in us: trust, safety, loyalty, respect, or love. When someone betrays us, the anger is often about much more than the event itself. Underneath the anger, there's other emotions like rejection, humiliation, loss of trust, fear of being vulnerable again, grief for what we thought the relationship was. What the betrayal can do to us, that internal, we start asking questions. How could they do this to me? Was I not enough? Can I trust anyone? Was everything a lie? How did I miss the signs? Well, these internal questions, we need to refocus them. How could they do this to me? Well, they could do it to anyone. And it's not that you were weak or anything like that. It's just that what they wanted to do was not happen to whoever they came into contact with at that time. Before or after, they could be fine, but they might not have been either. They might keep doing it. So it's not about you. Was I enough? Well, the only person that can really answer that question is you. And how do you answer that question is by looking at self and how you go through that, where you are in your life and where you are in your relationship. And that relationship is anyone you're around. It's not just about a partner. If you're putting in 100% in your relationship, then yes, you're enough. If you're putting 20% in, well, then you've got things to work on. And that comes down to us. But generally, if someone is in the mindset of doing you harm, then there is absolutely nothing you can do to stop it, except knowing the signs. When you know the signs, you don't get betrayed as often. Not going to say that you're not going to get betrayed again, because there's some crafty people out there. Can you trust anyone? Of course you can. And you trust everybody out on the street. You go to the shops, you're trusting the people around you to do the right thing by you. Of course, you don't get the ones that don't, but for the most part, yes. You can even say, can I trust people? Yeah, you can. Because when you drive, it's not every day that you're getting run into. You might have some bad experiences where it may seem a lot that you get run into, but it's not every day. So, of course, we can trust. And if you can think of it that way, the amount of trust that we put onto other people is everywhere. Can we trust someone like a partner? Yes, we can. And what it comes down to is if you want to. You don't have to, but where's that relationship going to go? It's all up to you. Was everything a lie? Probably not. And this goes where When a relationship first starts out, unless they're really evil people, then no, everything's not a lie. Or unless you've got a lot of money and they know it, then it could be a lie. But then that's their lie, not your lie. Are you believing the lie? Yes, we do believe those lies. Look, every partner, and I mean every partner, lies to their partner about something. So it's bigger things where, and consistency, that's when you've got to start taking notice. How did I miss the signs? Well, if you don't know what you're looking for, everyone's going to miss the signs, you know? And this doesn't go like, if you have been betrayed, then say it all started over money. Well, the next partner, if you're going to try and take control of the money situation, then you're not really trusting that other person. But if you've seen the signs, you can watch for the signs, not just dismiss it or accept it. And you can talk about it, not get angry, talk about it calmly. All right? So if we had missed some signs, yes, we do. Can we work on that? Yes, we can. Of course we can. So, and that goes from, one partner to another partner. You may miss the signs with one, and then with the next one, you still might miss them because they're different. They're different people. They may have different interests, do things differently. But overall, we can see a pattern forming when we know what the signs are. Now, the questions that keep us trapped in the anger, and then we come out of it. When we analyse it, what happened was wrong. Yes, it was wrong. For many reasons. Or just may have been one reason. But yes, it was wrong. Where my boundaries violated, well, trust is a boundary on many fronts. So, and it's up to us how badly that trust was violated. But if we stay stuck in that, we're going to be stuck in it for a long time. Do you need to protect yourself? Sometimes, yes. Other times, take it on the chin. But being aware of things that are happening, I'm not saying sit there and analyse everything that your partner does. I'm saying that there will be patterns. And when you identify those patterns, then you can do something about it quicker than later. And do we need to change? Sometimes we do. When we ask those questions and we can answer them truthfully, then yeah, when they look at those answers and go, oh, we can do that better, or this can change, that can change. Now, thinking that I must make them pay or make them suffer, I will never trust again, everyone is the same, I will carry this forever, that's not helpful. You're going to set yourself up, and this plays over and over in your head, all right? You've got to stop. They're the sayings in your head that you have to stop for you to convert the unhealthy anger into healthy anger. And the healthy anger is noticing what happened. What happened in the relationship? Why did it end up like this? And then, will I never trust again? That's on us. Will we or won't we? When we can see things that we do, they do, it's not a blame game. You know, I'm not blaming anyone. It's how we deal with the anger and with the betrayal. And saying everyone's the same. No, everyone's not the same. You know, and you know, one person might like to do this, the next one won't. They'll do something else. Jesus, they may even smell the same. They might cook differently. Everyone is not the same. Everybody is different in their own way. If you're saying that you're going to carry this forever, well, you will. Plain and simple, you will. So stop saying that. Change it. How can I better my boundaries? How can I establish the boundaries that I need not to feel this again? That's where you want your anger to be. You know, most people don't connect that grief and loss or grief and betrayal carry the same emotions. So if you really are in betrayal and grief, sit at home and tell the other person off when they're not there. Do it when they're not there. You know, talk to them. Same with grief. And I say this to a lot of clients that are grieving, to sit there and tell the person why you're grieving. But let's know why you're grieving. The relationship that you thought you had. A relationship is a two-way street. It's never one way. And if it's not a happy relationship, and I mean everybody gets angry at their partners at some point. You know, we all go through the stages of not the silent treatment. Right? And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if it's every day, then you may want to think about the relationship. All right. Also, the future you imagined. Right? When you get together, you start to plan your future. And then all of a sudden your partner will divert, or you might divert. And you might be feeling betrayed that your partner's not coming with you on your same track. Can you still be together with that? Of course you can. You know, there's many forks in a track or a road. So, and they can still meet up. Just they might go off in different directions at times. Can you trust again? That's entirely up to you. With the experience of knowing how things are, and you can ask yourself the harder questions, and when you ask those harder questions, then you can change. Yes, you can trust. All right? Can you believe a person that they say they are? Well, yes. Until they show you differently, trust them. All right? Now, acknowledge the anger. Don't suppress it. And ask yourself, what exactly am I angry about? What boundaries was crossed? What value was violated? And anger becomes more manageable when it is clearly defined. Understanding where the anger is coming from, you can work on healing it or rectifying what the problem is, depending on where it's coming from. Identify it. All right? Ask yourself, am I hurt? Am I disappointed? Am I feeling rejected? Am I feeling foolish or ashamed? All right? Am I hurt? Ask the questions. Where? Where's the hurt? What am I disappointed about? Why am I feeling rejected? And that rejection can be in anywhere. Now, most men feel rejected in the bedroom. All right, this is, and the females, they go through different stages of growth. So do men, and it's, if you're feeling rejected in the bedroom a lot, then maybe it's one of the questions that you need to ask yourself: what am I doing? How am I doing it? Why am I doing it? Can it change? Can it be better? And I'm not just talking about in the bedroom. I'm talking about in the kitchen, in the living room, talking with the kids. I'm talking how you drive. Because it's everything in a package. You're a package, they're a package. So it's everything. Am I feeling foolish or ashamed? Learn from your experiences, and then you won't feel that. And yeah, we do things that we can feel foolish or ashamed of. Everybody's done it. Learn from it. And have that mentality of curiosity. Like self-judge, but don't judge yourself that, feeling foolish lasts for months. Learn from it. Being ashamed, we've all done things that we're ashamed of. And well, let's face it, some of it was fun. But if you don't feel ashamed of it, don't do it. And learn from it. And a lot of it is looking inside, not looking outside. It's looking inside. Separate the event from your identity. Betrayal says something about the choices of the other person. And it's not automatically mean that you are unlovable, or you're weak, or that you're foolish, or that you can never trust again. Many people unintentionally turn betrayal into a judgment about themselves. Express the anger constructively. Talking with a trusted person, counseling, journaling, physical exercise, or writing a letter you never send. And that's a good one. All right, I do suggest this for a lot of clients. Write a letter, express everything, never send it, burn it, let it go. When we're writing things, when we're speaking things, we can let things go. And then we can understand ourselves a bit better on how not to feel that way again, or how not to let it build up again. Because I'm pretty sure that we're still going to be ashamed of ourselves at some point, even at 50. But some of it's fun. So decide what you need and decide the healing that you require. All right? Do you just need an apology? Do you need answers? Or do you need stronger boundaries? Do you need distance? Or do you need to leave the relationship? Sometimes the greatest healing comes from getting answers, but from making decisions. The forgiveness and betrayal. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. And forgiveness does not mean that what happens was okay. Trust must be restored for the relationship to continue. Forgiveness means releasing the ongoing grip the betrayal has on your life. So apologise to yourself. Can trust be rebuilt? Of course it can. And it's up to everyone to rebuild it. So, and depending on what happened. So yeah, it can be rebuilt, but both partners have to be involved in that. Forgiveness can occur. It can. Like I said, it's got to be both ways. Even if it doesn't happen, well, sorry, but it's keeping your anger down, all right? And sometimes the relationship isn't going to work. Now, I want you to ask yourself, is your anger helping you heal, or is it helping you stay connected to the wound? And many people discover that they have been carrying anger because it feels like protection. Eventually, however, the anger can become another source of suffering. And the nature of betrayal often changes. So it is on us, and most of it is on us, how we respond. All right? Finding the anger, what's the underlying emotion, reframing it, not letting it sit that it's us always. Sometimes it is. Reframe it, learn, and move on.